And we're back with Professor Layton. I know I just left on this massive cliffhanger last time. Do not worry about that. Don't listen to cliffhangers, they lie to you. The dryer too big so if you have to have more towels, more space to use. Towels, pass these over moisture. Well, the problem is that this dryer does not get hot when it runs on the normal setting, because I don't know how to use it. I'm dumb with smart dryers. Well then, I have changed my voice since last week. We will now continue with the trial of Spella Cantabella. My N64 controller is not hooked up to my computer. There it is. Turkish style towers, they're super rewarding. I have towels from Kohl's. I don't think they're Turkish. Okay, there we go. That works. Oh, that's right. We have drunk guy. Oh boy. A group of witnesses held him before joint testimony witch trial. You can't make this stuff up. Mr. Barnum, if I may ask you a question. Yes, my lord. That's not his voice. I don't care. We now have 5 witnesses on the stand, so I must ask, why was this obnoxious-looking man left out of your initial group of witnesses? Ollie's right, Barnum. That's not his voice. That's just cold-blooded. There's but one reason, my lord. I did not know this witness even existed. You, sir, failed to come forward when we were asking for witnesses for this very trial. You were nowhere to be seen. That's because I didn't hear a peep about it. I ain't usually around at night, except for maybe at Rouge's Tavern. So you're basically telling us that you were up all night drinking. Anyway, it's all water in the bridge now as far as I'm concerned. Just leave the rest to yours truly. Ha 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 ha. During the last interrogation, the defender brought forth some surprising proof. Namely, that there was little possibility the accused could have used magic. I have never heard such a claim. It must be the doing of this logic. What rubbish? Logic, you say? I ain't got a clue what that is. The man's drunk. But I do know that this bread baking baker head back to the bakery. Eloquently said. Oi, Gramps, give me and my partners over here a chance to speak. You want to know how this witch managed to be holding that scepter, don't you? Oh, when you say Gramps, you wouldn't mean me, would you? I fail to see anyone else meeting such a description. Well, we'll show you she's a witch. I bet Snowy's beautiful white coat on it. On guard! There's so many voices. This is collusion! Yes, well, let's proceed with the testimonies. Why do I feel like I've totally lost control of this situation? Okay, we're doing things. It's clear as day. Spell is a witch. We are not backing down on this. Stop eating your flowers. You're supposed to sell those. When she dropped the lantern, the scepter was not yet in her hands. The scepter must have been hidden by magic and carried on her back. The rogues grabbed her by the hand that held the lantern, so she must have had another way of holding that scepter. That's easy. The girl just put the bucket down on the ground and picked up the witch's magic stick. So she had the witch's scepter behind her back. She then dropped the lantern and reached for the scepter after it fell. If that is the case, then it must have been possible for the accused to have used magic. This is bad. Thanks to this guy, now the witnesses seem extra determined to pin this thing on a spell. They each harbor a shared anger towards witches and magic. Such is the cause of their strong desire to see a guilty verdict pass as quickly as possible. However, such confidence is undoubtedly bound to cloud their better judgment and thinking. He's right, like, this is against Constitution America, where I am from. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think these guys mean any real harm, but they're all riled up. They don't even realize how distorted their idea of what happened tonight has become. At least, that's how it seems. This isn't good, Professor. The witnesses aren't thinking straight. They're completely blind to the truth. Sir Baker, or rather, Sir Wright. Yes. You do not appear to be a mere simple baker. That much is clear. On the other hand, you are no ordinary defender either. Never before has a defender managed to clash and do battle with me here on this battlefield as an equal. Sir Blue Knight, this trial has not yet been decided. If there's any doubt in your interrogation, I will not hesitate to strike your case down where it stands. I understand. Defender, please begin your interrogation. Fuck me. I don't remember. Okay, that doesn't really have anything with that. Scepter's not in her hands, okay. Scepter must have been hit by magic carrying her back. Well, this kind of shit would 100% be allowed in Phoenix Land Bizarro courts. Rogue shot her by the hand that held the lantern, so she must have another way of holding the scepter. Just put the bucket down on the ground and picked up. But it was muddy. If the bucket was put down, it would have mud on it, would it not? Right? Literally, one trial through Phoenix literally threatens the murderer's client by proxy. Is it Butts? Does he threaten to kill Butts? Well, the lantern has mud on it. The bucket doesn't. Which one should I present? Alright, we'll do bucket, because... Try press him first? Okay. She put the milk bucket down? That's right! Becker, if she did that, she'd have no problem holding that thing. Objection! But none of the other witnesses have said anything about seeing her put the bucket on the ground. But no one said a thing about not seeing her put the bucket down either. Everyone disagreed with that. They never saw that. Here, we'll question Mary about that. Excuse me, Miss Mary. Huh? You mean snowing me? Tell me, what do you think of the witness's testimony just now? The accused placed the bucket on the ground. No one has said anything about this until now. That must be how it happened. The girl probably placed the milk bucket on the ground, yes. Objection! Miss Mary, you did not mention anything to that effect in your previous testimony. And yet you clearly state that the one thing you're specifically focused on more than anything else was the milk bucket. Ergo, you should be able to confirm to the court whether or not the bucket really was placed on the ground. Objection! One's memory is not flawless, Sir Blue Knight. Pay attention to what the witness was saying. The accused probably placed a milk bucket on the ground. There's a possibility such was the case. Yeah, that's right. Isn't it my little cuddle pumpkin? Thanks, Snowy. I knew it. There's something fishy about her testimony, but... Indeed, it would seem we require a decisive piece of evidence. If we are exposed to contradictions in these witnesses' testimonies. Yeah, just think what it could be. It's the bucket! It has to be the bucket. And the only one that doesn't make sense is the guys. Phoenix one was that you gotta press the witnesses like going for laundry.
Objection!
There. If I die, I blame this guy. What really happened is not quite so simple. What? What you talking about? It only just stopped raining moments before the crime took place. As a result, the ground was very muddy. If Miss Candabella really placed this bucket on the ground like you claim she did, then it should be caked with mud, just like the lantern was after it fell. Her? Well, I'd say that clears up your muddy testimony, wouldn't you? Well... Hey, Barnum! What? You just gonna sit there looking pretty? Come on, give me a hand here. Flattery will get you nowhere, witness. Other than perhaps to the dungeon. At any rate. There's one question that we ought to ask. Why is there no blood on the bucket? The witness with the goat might ask you a question. Huh? Are you talking to us? Indeed. You admitted to the court that you returned home with the milk bucket. Illegally, I must add. My, such harsh words, Inquisitor. When you took the bucket home, you must have simply wiped the mud from the bucket. Is that correct? She doesn't know. You know, now that you mention it... Oh, no way, don't tell me. That milk bucket? That's right, I remember now. Stop squeezing the poor goat! I don't know if it was on the bucket. It was mud, exactly, but it certainly was dirty. Before taking it aside with me, I remember wiping it clean with an old rag. Oh my god, someone kill this lady. Are you kidding me? All these people are just tampering with murder scenes. Exceptional work, Inquisitor Barnum. Right, it all makes perfect sense. See? We were right all along. Weren't we, Inquisitor Barnum? I knew that sword wasn't just for show, Barnum. You sliced his argument in two.
Objection!
Leading evidence for inclusion. Witness, Miss Mary. What is it? You're absolutely sure there's mud stuck to this milk bucket? Oh my, well, truth be told, I don't remember whether it was mud exactly. But I do remember cleaning the bucket off when I got home. Ugh. It would seem. The defense has failed to disprove the witness's claims. Of that, we can be quite certain. Ahar! That'll teach you, Bluey! You got that right. Do me a favor, will you, Gramps? I want to change my testimony, just a tiny bit. I will allow it, only if the witness refrains from name-calling in the future. You got it, my lord. Well, all this court mumbo-jumbo has left me thirstier than a dog in a desert. Ridiculous. That witch there was holding the stick. I even heard her say the incantation thingy. That's right, I witnessed it all. Okay. But no one knows for sure if Miss Cannabelle dropped that milk bucket on the ground. Because there's no mud on it. Is that what you're saying? Hey, we went over this already. We know the goat lady wiped off all the mud.
Objection!
However, Miss Mary doesn't clearly remember whether or not it was mud on that was stuck on the bucket. We really don't remember, but maybe... I guess maybe there was mud on it? I mean, she couldn't hold the scepter without putting a bucket on the ground. Miss Mary, please give a definitive answer. Y'all done, Bluey? Take all you want, cause it ain't gonna help you see? The five of us, we saw what that witch went and did. We saw it clear as day. Did he have a, like, voice?
Hang on!
Excuse me, mister. He just spinning. Earth the Gramps? Defender, when you say Gramps, might you by chance be referring to me? No, of course not, Your Honor. Mr. Wordsmith, are you listening? I heard you quite clearly the first time, young man. These ears, after all, hear all. The crackling of the fire, the whispering of the crowd, and now, your voice. If that's the case, then let me ask you a question. You were clearly deep in thought just now. Do you have something to say about this man's testimony? Indeed so. I felt something was amiss. However, what that means, I cannot say. Amiss. Witness, could you tell us? What precisely was amiss with this third-rate testimony from this third-rate witness? Ouch! What a burn, Barnum. 5 heads are better than 1. 10 eyeballs are better than 2. As I listened to this man's testimony, I could not help become aware of something most odd. Tonight, when the crime occurred, we all made haste to that terrible scene. The delicious scent of mid-evening dinner permeated through the air, the shadows of those present cast through the dim light, and also the smell of hot, burning flesh. And yet, there were but 4 figures standing in that vicinity, myself included. 4? Hold on a second. You're saying that there were only 4 witnesses at the crime scene tonight? These eyes may be old, but they know what they saw. Didn't you say you were blind earlier? Is something the matter, Miss Mary? No, it's just that Snowy and I are trying to remember what happened at the time. I remember the flames erupting in the air. That's when Snowy and I made our mad dash to save the precious milk. In that picture, she's still holding it. And when those 2 ruffians were set ablaze, the flame filled the area with light. That sudden flash of light, we could see that there were other people around besides ourselves. And that's when I saw them, the other people that scrambled to the scene along with us. I'm quite sure of it. There were only 4 of us there at the scene of the crime.
Objection!
Hold it, madam. What in blazes is going on? We have 5 witnesses on the stand, all claiming to have witnessed tonight's events firsthand. That means we have 1 witness too many. Don't be stupid! Oh wait, you gotta better stop being out of turn. All for one and for all, remember? We all promised to take the witch down together, didn't we? It's not quite that simple. We saw what we saw. Well, I say it's all about the numbers, and I counted, I say. I'll have you know, my counting is flawless. On nights when sleep eludes me, I can count sheep from moonrise to sunrise. 4 witnesses, 5 witnesses, what difference does it make? Things all started getting muddled when you showed up. They hate him too. What? You saying my fault? I was there, you fool. Didn't I just finish saying that? My testimony's strong as steel, even if it's not completely stainless. Where does he get the shield from? Order. I said order. What is going on here? You claim the number of witnesses does not add up? I have never paid witness to such an outrageous conflict. There is but one answer to this puzzle, a single possibility. What do you mean? Without a doubt, magic must have been used at the scene of the crime. Furthermore, it would indeed appear that there were only 4 witnesses present at the scene. And yet currently, we are faced with 5 witnesses testifying to the court. That certainly is quite a fatal contradiction, with only one possible answer. In one trial, Phoenix manages to prove it impossible for his client to commit the murder, except he did, because he hired a hitman. So it's basically like, shit, the defense is solid, how do I get my client to confess? So basically, Phoenix gets the hitman to call into the court and be like, well, I guess I have the murder defendant, unless he goes to jail, where I can't kill him. Oh my god. Would you not agree, Mr. Wright? The answer can't be. Well, out with this supposed answer, Sir Blue Knight. What is your explanation with the current number of witnesses? No, they didn't. They could have seen everything correctly. For the most part, every one of their testimonies is the same. I mean, there is the Amir gem, but we haven't heard anything about Amir. Well, the Damir gem, Amir gem. We haven't heard anything about those two. The second spell snack? I don't think so. We haven't heard anything about that. Wordsmith has really good ears and noticed the Ignace incantation, but he has not noticed Damir. It was a week ago. I don't think so. They didn't see things correctly would apply if the Damir was cast, but they left the rod, so they can't cast it on them. Yeah, because Amir could have been cast before she got to the scene. What if it's a witch? One of the extra witnesses is a witch. Here, try that. Well, it might seem far-fetched, but the reality is actually quite simple. The real witch, and the real murderer in this case, is actually one of these 5 witnesses. What? What? Okay, at first glance this appears to be right, because they're continuing the story. You're telling us that the witch is amongst this group of witnesses? What utter rubbish. There's no possible way that such a claim could be true. That's right, you got a lot of nerve accusing one of us of being a witch. We have told you nothing but the truth. Yet you still have the gall to bat around with such an outrageous accusation. You have messed with the crime scene twice. Can you really say that to me? Behold, behold, as my trusty shield deflects your petty words like the petty words that they are. Inquisitor Barnum. Yes, my lord. I would like to see a sketch of the crime scene at the time of the incident. Do you have one in your possession? Yes, certainly, my lord. I have one here. I requested it from the court illustrator, just in case. Why did you not provide that earlier? Very well. Witnesses. I would like each of you to mark your location at the time of the murder. Here, on this crime scene sketch. Quickly, now. The number of witnesses doesn't add up. It looks like we're getting somewhere now, but we haven't even scratched the surface of this case yet. And it's all thanks to this top hat wearing gentleman. The court accepts this crime scene sketch into evidence. On. So the guy and Flower Girl came along the same path. You're sorry about vaccine, but Phoenix Wright tells us it could sell by revealing true colors. They have to be part of the characters already shown. Okay, so we have Espella, we have Shield Guy, We have Mary, we have Wordsmith, and we have some guy that we don't know the name of. And we have Flower Girl. Hold on. Hold on. Flower Girl says that she's lost her glasses. How would she be able to see the crime scene from there? Interesting. Okay. One of the witnesses, that witch. That could only mean one thing. Somebody here isn't telling the truth. That would indeed appear to be the case, Mr. Wright. Listen well, Sir Blue Knight. The path you tread now is a dangerous one. Claiming that a witch is amongst these most honorable witnesses. There's only 3 of them, despite there being 4 and 5, is a serious accusation, should it prove to be a false one. You will find yourself at the other end of my sword. Do I make myself clear? I think we better press her on it. Huh? But that wasn't so much my suggestion. I mean, the gentleman here with the lovely top hat was the one who urged me to say it. It's the same thing, Sir Blue Knight. Phoenix about to sacrifice Layton for this? Indeed, it is the same thing, Sir Baker. It is the same thing, Mr. Wright. Oh boy. Now, ready your sword. Ready? Were you listening? You claim the witch is not the accused, and that someone else at the crime scene was the true culprit. If what you say is true, then surely you can tell the court exactly where this person was at the time of the crime, can you not? Come now, Sir Blue Knight. Only you can enlighten us to who this weird witch actually was. Sir Doughy Defender. Show us where the witch was at the exact moment the murder took place. Okay. So, summons a circle of flame with a 1 meter radius of the caster. That means that... That means it must be like right here.
Got it.
It has to be. The witch must have been standing here.
Objection.
What is the meaning of this? Unfortunately for you, that spot has absolutely nothing to do with any of these witnesses.
Objection.
If badass and cool Phoenix would get a sword in this game, it would be part of stuff in the new guys. Wizard Barnum, I said she'd try taking a look at this. The Grand Grimoire. I like that they did an animation for this. According to this tome, Ignace summons a circle of flame within 1 meter radius of the caster. In other words, the witch had to have been within 1 meter of the flame when casting the spell.
Objection.
Of course, you didn't need to say any more, Sir Blue Knight. First off, notice that no one else in the area other than the accused. It should also be quite obvious from the sketch that there's clearly nowhere for anyone to hide.
Objection.
True, there aren't any high spots. However, there's one other possibility for which one to stay hidden from sight. Most intriguing. Since you seem to love showing evidence, prove it. How was the witch able to hide in plain sight? This one.
Take that.
This Tally Magica contains 2 magic gems. Ignace and 1 other spell. That's right, the spell Damir. Damir. It cannot be. That's right. There was most certainly a witch present at the crime scene. Only they were completely invisible. All thanks to the magic spell Damir. What foolishness is this? Order! Order in court! Defender, what are you getting at? I thought the witch used a mirror to make the Italian magic disappear.
Objection!
According to the Grand Memoir, under the entry for Demir, it causes anything caster touches to vanish from sight. In other words, supposing the witch were holding a staff in one hand while touching part of their body with the other, they would be able to make themselves disappear. Are you implying that is the reason for the conflicting number of witnesses? Indeed, it is. Which means, witnesses, someone amongst you is not disclosing the entire truth, and that person is the witch we seek. I believe this is the most probable scenario. Fink's saying this shit dead ass, because it's really not that different as regular cases. Honorable witnesses, you will testify at the court one final time. Tell us exactly what you saw and what you did not see at the scene of the crime. How absurdly absurd. The purpose of this trial is to convict that girl over the crime, is it not? That's right. We are not witches. Witnesses, I ask that you listen. There's a witch mingling among you. That's right. I'm afraid you are all no longer brothers in arms. The true opponent here is within your own group. The real witch is one of these 5 witnesses, huh? Fine by me. Time to put an end to this trial. You wish to know where we all were standing tonight? It matters not. Would the flames not burn just the same? That flame, I never saw anything like it. I literally left me speechless. I couldn't even so much as scream. I heard the tiniest cry, and then when I turned around, the blighters are roasting, so I rushed right over. I changed my voice. I heard an incantation, then the flame suddenly erupted. I'm certain of it. I only saw 3 people there with us. What? Three? What do you mean 3? As I said, there were only 3 others present. Like that man there who was stumbling around like a newborn calf. So that guy was definitely there. Not counting victims and accused. Oh, so I don't think Mary is including somebody. The most heinous act indeed. No small wonder these witnesses are so confused. A witch amongst the witnesses. What an utterly baseless claim. I don't think so, Barnum. The only baseless claim is, in this case, it says spell of being a witch. It's more than a little likely one of these witnesses is the culprit. These testimonies are bound to tell me who the real witch is.
Hold it!
I don't really know at this point. In other words, you're not sure exactly what happened tonight, is that right? Defender, I fought with burning vigor this night. Do not belittle my efforts. Right. A knight does not just run away at the mere sight of fire. Ha! No one even said anything about running away. So he ran away. If I may be perfectly sure with you, the pillar of fire illuminated areas rose high into the air. There by the fire was the witch, and excluding the 2 unfortunate knaves, I counted 3 others at the scene. Who is that? Why is she pressing this? So, when he came to the scene, he saw 3 other people. So, it could be one of these 3, one of these 4. Okay. Why is... Alright, I'll continue. Exactly. That means there were only 4 witnesses seeing the crime. Hold on, sir. You cannot say that for certain. Perhaps I missed the other witness. Maybe they were obscured by the shield. See? That is another possibility. Anyway, how about we not talk about your shield anymore? Very well. Alright. Why did she speak up? Assumptions that they could all see each other from where they were standing. The map had made it shitty.
What?
Hang on.
Excuse me, Miss Kira? Kira, that's her name. Eek! Well, what do you want? You look like you had something to say about the testimony just now. Well, it was about the number of people at the crime scene. Have you ever played the Daisy Petal game? Daisy Petal game? 1 witness, 2 witnesses, 3 witnesses, 4 witnesses, 5 witnesses, 6 witnesses. What an adorable game. Seems like something out of a fairy tale. Seriously, Your Honor? Anyway, you may continue your testimony, witness. Why does she do that?
Hold it.
Must have been pretty terrifying, huh? Yes, it's the only kind of thing you read about in books. The moment that pillar of fire erupted, I could feel my throat tightening up. So difficult to breathe, I couldn't even manage so much as a scream. Quite. After all, the flames engulfed the scene in a blink of an eye. Yes, I'm sorry. That's why I can't really remember. So you can't remember the number of people at the crime scene. Naturally, this is understandable, witness. That's why I was a little late getting to the scene compared to the others. I heard the tiniest cry, and then when I turned around, I already heard that. The tiniest cry. It might have been something saying incantation for that spell. My memory's kind of hazy on that one. Scared me good though. Never jumped up to my feet so fast in all my life. Nearly had a heart attack, I tell ya. Jumped up. Sorry. It's still raining cats and dogs. So being the resource job I am, I decided to doze on a tree for a bit. Why is Wordsmith going around? Is everything alright, Mr. Wordsmith? What is it you want this time, young one? I just want to know if you had any thoughts on the testimony just now. Oh yes, thoughts about slumbering under trees, you mean? Slumbering... I often find myself weaving the most intricate of dreams under that very tree. Of course, I could not nap tonight, not with that uncouth man usurping my special dreaming spot, could he? Could I? Are you using this cross-examination to argue over a napping spot? Let's hope such arguments do not lead to Eddie's criminal acts in the future. Witness, please continue your testimony. So, it looks like some guy and Wordsmith were there.
Hold it.
Are you absolutely certain? Well, I believe so, but then when you think about it, can anyone really be absolutely certain of anything? Don't go into that. It worries me that you're saying that in the middle of a cross-examination. I believe the witness means that there's no way she can be certain whether there were 4 or 5 witnesses at the crime scene. Anyhow, there was a matter of great importance that's knowing I had to tend to. The bucket of milk. You must mean... That's right, the milk. If any soot got into that milk, it would be the tragedy and all tragedies. Who was that? That was some guy.
Hang on.
Assumption. Please stop there, mister. He's wasting his beer. Mister! I still don't know his name. Whoa! Tone down the volume, Bluey! That's my line. Does anything come to mind regarding Miss Mary's testimony? Nope, not really. Nothing important anyways. Just that I think this old lady is full of it. Huh? I'm talking about the milk, man. The milk! You'll know the second you try stuff. Ain't nothing right home about, let me tell you. What are you saying, you dolt? Who on earth would let you drink anything as delicious as milk from my farm? A ruffian like you is better served by whatever unthinkable liquid is in that never-ending mug of yours. Yeah, tell him, Snowy. Are you guys using cross-examination to argue over milk? Let us hope such arguments do not lead to... Okay. So last is Wordsmith. Nope, go back, go back. Aw, man. Something matter, Mr. Wright? I hate to say it, but it looked like there weren't any contradictions. Is that right? Just as I thought. I suppose the only option at present is to try and coax in more information from witnesses. You mean catching them off guard, right? Precisely. Alright, so where's the shot? So they want me to do a press, and...
Hold it!
Not you. Shut up. Shut up. Go away. Shut up. Yeah. Shut up.
What?
Yeah, we already pressed that on Kira. Right, we need to press Wordsmith.
Hold it!
So including yourself, there were a total of 4 witnesses at the crime scene, correct? That is how it has come to pass. By the way, what do you mean by stumbling around like a newborn calf? Ah, yes, that was the man as inebriated as he was loud. Quite the humorous sight it was, I dare say. Oh my god, who's doing things? I can't see. Francisca Von Karma followed me. You're not even in this game, Von Karma. He must be the witness permanently glued to his cup of whatever he's drinking. They can't stay because this is a kid's game. When I saw the flames rise up into the sky, I wondered myself, my word, whatever could that be? However, I could not simply walk over to check. My knees were a bit weak from shock, you see. That's when the wobbly-legged gentleman came running over. What? So, the guy showed up first. Wordsmith looks like the old emperor from Mulan. Kinda. So, let's see. So, Shield guy pretty much just shivered in fear. I think Mary instantly bolted for the milk. Wordsmith was kind of stuck here because of his knees. And some guy came up really close. And Kira hasn't said anything. Kira said she was frozen in fear. Okay. Well, some guy has something to say about that. Is something the matter, mister? Mister! Whoa! Told you had the volume, Bluey! That's my line? Sir Blue Knight, next time please think before trying to press this witness. Looks this guy even managed to scare Barnum half to death. Now then, sir, about Mr. Wordsmith's testimony just now. He claimed you were stumbling around. What does he mean by that? I'm gonna set the record straight right now. In no way was I stumbling around anywhere. I like to think of it more as like staggering with style. A responsible adult should know better than to go stumbling around in the dead of night. Hey look, I don't just go stumbling around like some clumsy idiot. I got more sense than that. But anyway, I kinda tripped over a large stone. I mean, you don't exactly see what's on the ground in front of you when you're running at full pelt, right? So you could say I put me life out on the line, proving that you really need to watch where you're going when you run. How courageous you. Someone give this guy a medal. My lord, this testimony is a meaningless waste of everyone's time. Well, defender, is there a point to this particular line of questioning? Is there anything worth pursuing here? What should I do? I have a question further on that. The witness stated earlier that he tripped over a large stone. Mister, I have one question for you. Why weren't you watching what was in front of you? Well, be honest with you, it ain't much of a real reason, but something suddenly caught my attention. Out of nowhere, I sort of heard someone call out my name. You heard your name? Of course, I turned around when I heard it. Who wouldn't? When a woman calls your name, you pay attention to them, right? What? So you heard someone call out, "Hey you," from behind, you mean? What? I said they called out me name. How many guys do you know called "Hey you"? Me name is Amir. Don't you forget it, Bluey. You hear me? I must say, this gentleman really does not strike me as an Amir. No, Professor. It's not a very memorable name, huh? That's harsh. Honorable witnesses, is there anyone among you who's aware of this man's name prior to now? Not at all. He's always just been Mister to me. A knight's name is only as good as the name of the sword he carries. It is the first I've heard of this. I dare say I did not expect his name to be such as a mirror. Everyone hates the guy. I'm sorry, but I didn't know his name either. I only remember the names of my most loyal customers. Okay, it looks like absolutely no one knew this witness's name. You know, it ain't really much of a surprise to me either. Ha 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 ha. But seriously, I definitely heard someone call me name. When you get to be me age, you really start to wonder when you'll find that true love, you know? I thought that pretty voice tonight might have been me, sweetie. No one liked that. Your Honor, I don't believe you should be so quick to label Mr. Amir's testimony meaningless, would you not agree? I request that the witness add this amusing anecdote to his testimony. Understood. Witness, amend your testimony, but please reflect only the important points of your story. I'm telling you, I heard someone call me name. I was looking around to try and find him. I heard to the seed, but then I ended up tripping when I heard someone call me name from behind. Wait. The only person behind him was Kira. So Kira called out his name. There, press him.
Hold it!
Excuse me, Amir. Ah, don't sweat it, Bluey. Mister, hey you, it's all the same to me. You say that you heard your name being called from behind. Are you absolutely sure about that? Well, right or wrong, it sure sounded like me name. I mean, what else could have been? I would have remembered it happening if I hadn't heard something, right? Still, maybe there's a chance I just imagined it, huh? But anyway, I remember it came from somewhere behind me. Somewhere behind you. Something matters, right? Amir's memory isn't the most accurate, but if he says it's true, then there's definitely something there. Something, you say? Might you mean a contradiction? Yeah, I think so. Although, I don't know. There's just something strange about his testimony. I don't see any decisive evidence in the court record that can help. You need to say you found contradictions that could not be supported by evidence.
Objection!
My lord, this line of interrogation is a complete waste of the court's time. Defender, I must warn you from here on. Any unnecessary questioning will be dealt with accordingly. If I don't answer correctly here, it's curtains for the trial and for Spella. You are intent on finding a fault in this witness's testimony. You will need to present decisive evidence to back up your claims. There's not one single piece of decisive evidence in the court record. What do I do now? Mr. Wright. Mr. Layton, I have an idea. I believe there's a weapon of sorts with which you may be able to expose this contradiction without the needs of evidence. A weapon. I'm allergic to weapons. Now, defender, give us your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The defense finds that this witness's testimony contains a clear contradiction. Your Honor, the defense believes there's a huge contradiction in the witness's testimony.
Objection!
Why does he have to fling his arm so far? What is this? You must be an even bigger fool than I thought, Sir Blue Knight. You really do not possess even a sliver of common sense, do you?
Objection!
Thanks, Herschel. If I may interrupt this moment for just a moment, Inquisitor Barnum. Allow me to ask you this. What need is there for common sense in a world that forgoes using it? Accordingly, I must humbly ask that you discard such a manner of thinking. Whatever you mean. You have my utmost thanks for placing your trust in me, Mr. Wright. Let us discuss the one remaining weapon in this cross-examination. Remaining weapon? This trial has taught us a valuable new technique to be used in the courtroom, has it not? I mean, questioning, right, Professor? Indeed it is, Luke. Each of the witnesses in this trial has given their own account of what has occurred. Therefore, whenever one witness has testified, the other remaining witnesses have listened. Gives me an idea. In addition to catching a witness off guard and questioning them about another's testimony, there's one more thing. Have you considered tutorial? Or something else we can get from a 5-person cross-examination? That's right, of course. Indeed, Mr. Wright, contradictions. Should what witness's testimony differ from another testimony, then I suppose that in itself can also be considered contradiction, can it not? Testimony contradicting testimony. I never would have thought of that until now. Enough! Sir Blue Knight, are you prepared to present to the court evidence proving the contradiction within this witness's testimony? The witness's testimony does not contradict any evidence. It contradicts testimony. What are you talking about? Have you considered tutorial? Yeah. I'm losing my voice. Sage. Alright, let's give this another shot, Nick. Make sure you don't forget to take a look at the court record, too. Hold on. So he heard from someone calling him from behind. Which is Kira. Kira is the only person behind him. And none of them, all of them came from each direction, so it has to be Kira.
Objection!
Oh, they got double fingers. The person contradicting this man's testimony is none other than you, Miss Kira. Are you both pointing at me? At the time of the incident, that man heard someone's voice call his name. That voice belonged to you, Miss Kira. It could not have been anyone else. And yet, in your testimony, you say that you were in such a shock during tonight's events that you couldn't even speak. This is a clear contradiction.
Objection!
What does it mean, this defender? Can you really claim to trust a sham of witness and a sham of a testimony?
Objection!
That man's character is besides the point. His testimony is anything but a sham. As he watched the flames erupt, his attention was drawn to a voice behind him, which in turn made him fall over. He heard a woman's voice calling his name, a very concrete reason, and a reason enough to believe his testimony.
Objection!
If it is as you say, then explain why you feel this witness is somehow irresponsible. That's right. Why me? People barely hear me when I'm out selling my flowers. That's how soft my voice is. Besides, there was another woman in the scene, wasn't there? Me? What are you getting at, Lungia lady? Do you honestly think a woman my age will be out late at night in the forest, flirting with questionable men? Besides, I don't even know this pathetic man's name. How could I have called out to him? Neither did I. And even I did know his name. Do you really think he's the kind of guy any self-respecting girl would want? Come on, ladies. I'm standing right here, you know. As I was saying, the only person that guy could have heard from behind him was you, Miss Kira. Defense wishes to prevent evidence to prove this claim. Accuse a witness like this young lady here. Why? This is simply unheard of. It's only happened in every single Phoenix Wright game where a cute little lady is accused of murder, and it was absolutely her that she gets almost away with it because she's cute. I must warn you, defender, if you cannot prove your accusation in this court, you will see the underside of my gavel. Show us the evidence proving this young lady was the one who called out to this man at the time of the crime. Isn't it the map then? Yeah, it's the map.
Take that!
Take a look at this and you'll have your answer. This is the crime scene sketch. You can see position each witness during the crime. The only person that he could possibly have heard from behind him was none other than Miss Kira.
Objection!
Listen here, Blue Knight. I will only tell you this one more time. A sham of witness yields only a sham of testimony. That is all there is to it. Did you, in fact, see the flower girl's face? You know, now you mention it, seeing as I've fallen down all, I don't think I saw her face. Okay, but you heard her voice, right? Let me think. The voice came out of nowhere. It was kind of high-pitched. And I guess it kind of sounded like her, but I can't say whether or not it was this girl's voice. And there you have it, Sir Blue Knight. Such a pity. My lord, it is clear that the defense's claim is nothing but pointless waste of the court's time. I recommend you deliver onto them a penalty for befitting such behavior. Indeed, Inquisitor. Ready yourself, defender. What is that laughter? Pardon me, my lord. It looks like you finally arrived at a decision. This means this has nothing to do with me. Isn't that right, Inquisitor Barnum? What are you saying? I'm saying that it's time for me to stop peddling testimony and get back to peddling flowers. I mean, look at all these flowers left over. It's gonna take until sunrise to sell them all if I stay here any longer. Or maybe, my lord, you and the rest of the court would be interested in buying my entire stock of flowers to help the girl out? No, I don't think, I mean... Then it's settled. Now, if you'll excuse me, my apologies for the interruption. Understood. The court will dismiss the witness. Well, Miss Kira, it would seem you're beginning to show the court your true colors. Oh, whatever you mean. Okay then, everyone, looks like that's that.
Hold it!
Wait, you can't leave yet. This cross-examination isn't over yet. Now, that's funny. You say it isn't over, and yet the rest of the court seems to think otherwise. Isn't that right, Inquisitor Barnum? Barnum's seen it too. The Inquisition maintains that the real witch is accused of Spella Cantabella. This girl is nothing more than a witness. As such, the court cannot force her to stay against her will. This is bad. If they let her walk out... Nick, do you think she could be... the real witch? You really like throwing around accusations, don't you, Sir Defender? Let me spell it out for you one last time, so even you can understand. I didn't know this man's name at all before today. I still don't remember it. So how could I have called out to him? Do you get it now? Now then, until we meet again, don't forget to buy some flowers on your way home, everyone. She just leaves.
Hold it.
One moment, please, Miss Kira. And she fades in. Is there something else you wanted? You don't seem to realize what you just let slip. What are you talking about? This man testified that you heard his name called the crime scene. However, you had no knowledge of his name at the time, is that correct? That's right. This weirdo's just imagining things. Like I said, I've already forgotten his name, even though he told it to us earlier. There's just one problem, Miss Kira. Namely, what the voice he heard tonight was actually saying. Huh? What do you mean? That's obvious. It was a name, wasn't it? No. What was that name again? My lord, I'm still here, you know. She's out of the courtroom and down the street, laying spawned her back like a Gmod prop. You're saying that what this man heard tonight wasn't a name, but rather something else entirely. Indeed I am, Inquisitor Barnum. Something else. Ah. There's only one other thing it could be. It's a stretch, but the possibility's there. That's right, Mr. Wright. That single possibility is the key to solving this mystery. Is the defense ready to present its evidence to the court? This is ridiculous. I demand you let me go this instant. Witness, what are you being accused of is not to be taken lightly. You will not leave this courtroom so long as any reasonable doubt remains. Defender, you may present your evidence. Show the court what the voice this man heard tonight was really saying. It's time. We've had this spell this entire time. Simply chant Amir to make it reappear.
Take that!
Excuse me, mister. I'm sorry, what's your name again? You've got a name that no one seems to be able to remember for some reason. Hey, it's Emir. My name's Emir, darn it. How many times have I gotta say it? Why are all these other people still here? No matter the times you say it, you do not look like an Emir. Ken, I only remember my most loyal customers' names, and he doesn't look like he could afford even a single daisy. Come on, guys, stop getting diodes down. Mr. Amir, what you heard tonight at the crime scene was not your name. Your name just so happens to sound exactly like a certain other name. Another name? Here's this really fancy animation that they probably spent hundreds of dollars on. The answer's right here in this tome. I'm talking about Amir. Amir? What he actually heard at the time wasn't his own name. It was the name of a magical incantation. What the? Miss Kira, have you forgotten what you said just a few moments ago? You quite clearly stated you didn't know this man's name.
Objection!
Sir Blue Knight, let me get this straight. You're saying that the Amir here heard by the witness was actually said by this flower girl, and that it was not his name at all, but rather incantation of a magic spell? The defense proposes the following. The true criminal, the supposed witch, is not the defendant, Miss Espella Cantabella, but instead the witness who is heard uttering the magic incantation, Miss Kira. She's our witch. You use magic to vanish from the scene and try to frame Miss Cantabella instead. No. What just happened? Is that girl, is Isabella really not a witch? Unbelievable. I've never heard anything like this. Inquisitor Barnum? Have those two really defeated Inquisitor Barnum?
Objection!
An impressive display, Sir Blue Knight. It would seem you have finally managed to hone your blade. However, I believe that blade's edge is already beginning to dull. What do you mean? I am referring to contradiction, naturally. Hey, that's my line. My lord, the Inquisition would like to set the record straight regarding what transpired this evening. Very well, Inquisitor Barnum. Sir Blue Knight, you claim the following. At the time of the crime, the accused, Spella Cantabella, was surrounded by 2 rogues. Then, in order to frame the accused as a witch, Miss Kira cast a spell to mirror and made herself vanish. She then moved closer to the victims, at which she cast Ignace, thus causing the incident seen by our 4 witnesses tonight. Low-key, Barnum kinda. Oh no. Charlie. But he old British man. Indeed, that does seem to be the claim. Okay, I see it. Okay, never mind. Ignore me. Problem is what happened next. Though there is a contradiction in the defense's account of Miss Kira's movements. Contradiction in her movements? Shut up, Charlie. Allow me to continue. The witnesses have stated that each ventured out towards the crime scene. Which is when Miss Kira, the witch, made her way to this point while still invisible. When she arrived at set spot, she then cast a mirror and reappeared to join the other witnesses. And there you have it. That is accurate, isn't it, Sir Blue Knight? That's correct. Then Mr. May hears her call his name. Well then, I have but one question that I would like you to answer. Why would a witch need to do such a thing? What do you mean? Supposing Miss Kira were a witch, she surely would not have made the conscious decision to reappear when she did. One would imagine she would remain hidden and flee the crime scene. Quite right. That's what I'd do if I was a witch. Given that point, there would be no viable reason for her to recite the incantation. In other words, it is inconceivable that this flower seller, Miss Kira, could be a witch. What? What just happened? Is Kira really not a witch? Inquisitor Barnum just turned his entire trial right around. Just what I expect from Labyrinthia's Sword of Justice. God, Phoenix looks miserable. Oh, she has voice lines. She go crazy.
That's right. You all heard it. It's just as Inquisitor Barnum said. Me, a witch. The idea is laughable.
Not good. She's completely bounced back on her feet. Ooh, we were so close too. That's a nice time to join the stream. Hi, bridge seller. Do you have a bridge to sell me? Can't believe Inquisitor Barnum. Can you see it? You just have to take one good look at her. It's obvious she's the real witch here. Remember, Mr. Wright, at times like this, a cool head will prevail. Mr. Layton. I'm sure you've had to fight your way out of circumstances just as these many times before. This situation is no different. As a defense attorney, what would you usually do at such a time? What would I usually do? Of course. There's only one thing that can get me out of a situation like this. I've got to flip this case on its head and think outside the box. It would have seemed the defense has nothing further to add. Not now. Gotta lay low for a while after some big sales. Yeah, you make a point there, bridge seller. Why, of course. That's because everyone knows the truth. They know that girl right there is the real witch. That settles it then. Go ahead and deliver your verdict, my lord.
Objection!
The situation is exactly as you described, Inquisitor Barnum. It really doesn't make much sense for the witch to have used a mirror. Regardless, the defense still maintains that Miss Kira did other that incantation and make herself reappear. Now the question is, for what reason? If she really didn't have to use that spell, then why use it in the first place? If I can find the answer to that question, then this entire case will start to unravel. Most fascinating. Very well, allow us to hear this theory of yours. Tell the court why it's so necessary for the witch to reappear at the crime scene. Well, we're still in the game. Once you eliminate the possible, whatever remains must be the truth. She looked stressed. The reason Miss Kira reappeared at the scene of the crime was... What if she's lying about the glasses? And why would her profile have the glasses on them? Maybe she dropped them at the scene? Try that. Can't think of any other possibility. This has to be the answer. Isn't it obvious? She was trying to cover her own crime. Oh, is that right? Tell me, why would she do that? Well, just give me a minute. I'm getting to that part. That will not be necessary, Mr. Blue Knight. Huh? Think about it. What would she have to hide if no one could have seen her to begin with? You heard the good Inquisitor. No matter how you look at it, there'd be no reason for me to reappear, assuming I was a criminal, that is. Ugh, can't argue with that. He's losing it. Harder than a eruption. That's not necessarily the case. Layton. Explain yourself, Sir Top Hat. You have stated that Miss Kira had no reason to reappear. However, the situation changed and it became necessary for her to show herself. Isn't that right, Miss Kira? Huh? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you mean. It would have seemed the defense must clarify their argument with evidence. Mr. Wright, I believe that Miss Kira did not intend to reveal herself at the crime scene. Used to date a girl named Kira? Does she also be a witch? Rather, that something occurred which forced this young lady to make herself reappear. What was so important that she had to reappear and risk being spotted? Defender, tell the court why it would have been necessary for the witch to reappear at the crime scene. The glasses.
Take that!
Miss Kira, you usually wear glasses, is that correct? Huh? Stop eating your flowers! Stop it! It's like I already told you, I lost my glasses a few days ago. Are you absolutely sure about that? Or did you not, in fact, lose them tonight, during the crime? Of course not. Stop eating your flowers! Perhaps you accidentally dropped them while you were committing the crime. Then, as you were attempting to make your escape, you noticed they were gone. I don't know how you didn't notice that, because you're probably blind. If my glasses fell off, I would be instantly looking for them. Therefore, you made yourself reappear in order to search for your missing glasses. No.
Objection!
How absurd. Such baseless conjecture. What you propose is fundamentally flawed. It was a dark night. You wouldn't see much anyways. True. What do you mean? Let's assume, hypothetically, that the witch did in fact drop this evidence. That does not explain what purpose it would serve for her to make herself reappear. It would still make more sense for her to escape under cover of darkness. Technically, she would be wholly and completely blind if she's invisible.
Objection!
And unfortunately, Inquisitor Barnum, such a plan was simply not possible. What? Mr. Wright, do you understand what I'm suggesting? Yes, he means the reason Miss Kira made herself appear at crime scene. Okay, this is it. Defender, enlighten us. Why did the witness feel the need to make herself reappear? She couldn't find them. The answer simply, Your Honor, she couldn't find her glasses. She could not find them. If you've noticed, she's still not wearing her glasses right now.
Objection!
Hold a moment, Sir Blue Knight. What does that have to do with anything? That's right. It doesn't change a single thing.
Objection!
That's where you're wrong. In fact, it changes things quite a bit. Tonight, the two victims were engulfed by flames, courtesy of a magic spell. The very instant 4 witnesses saw the flames erupt at the scene. It was at that point that something you didn't expect occurred. You suddenly lost your glasses. How's the game treating you so far? It's great! I love this game. I have played it before, roughly 10 years ago, so I don't remember anything. That's right. You were scared that if your glasses were discovered at the scene of the crime, you would be suspected of being a witch.
Objection!
What foolishness, even if her glasses were found. She could simply explain that she dropped them there days before the crime happened.
Objection!
I'm afraid that's not a possibility, Inquisitor Barnum. What did you say? If you recall, it had been raining quite heavily at the crime scene beforehand. As she has stated that she dropped her glasses before the crime, then naturally, one would expect the glasses to be soaked in water and covered in mud. However, the rain had already stopped at the time the crime itself was committed. In other words, one look at the pair of clean, dry glasses would feel she dropped them later, thus implicating her as a witch. No. I should have known. I was perfecting my rainfall rendering technique in the forest. Not once during the rainfall did I see that flower maid traveling along the nearby path. That's not all. In order to frame Miss Cantabella as the witch, you needed to leave this witch's scepter behind at the scene of the crime. I see, that would be the most definitive evidence that she's the witch. The objective here was to have somebody else discover the staff at the scene. Alas, that person was I. However, no doubt you can realize that one can deduce which spells were used simply by examining the magic gems on the scepter. In this case, one can see that the witch must have used a mere advantage to the site and make her escape. That's why, Miss Kira, you were left with no option to reappear at the crime scene. That was the only way for you to avoid suspicion if someone were to discover glasses at the crime scene. By reappearing, you'd be able to explain that you simply dropped your glasses when you rushed to see what had happened. What do you have to say to that, Miss Kira? She broke.
You know, I've let you both ramble on and on, but playtime is over. So that's it, then? I'm a witch because I dropped my glasses? I must have said it how many times now? I lost my glasses days ago. Were you even listening? I'll say it again. Over 1,000,000 times! I lost my glasses, I lost my glasses! Do you like evidence, Sir Defender? Do you love proof, Sir Top Hat? Then prove I dropped my glasses at the crime scene. Ha! You can't prove it! In other words, you lose.
Shame. She's cute. Shame she went crazy. That is correct. Proving such a thing would indeed be impossible. To prove that the witness dropped her glasses at the crime scene, what say you, Inquisitor Barnum? This is indeed a question of proof, my lord. These glasses have been missing from the very beginning. The Knights of the Inquisition found no trace of these glasses anywhere near the crime scene. Therefore, the witness cannot in any way be accused of being a witch. You heard the man. But we were so close. That girl's a witch! Can anyone else see that? What should we do, Professor? She was eating the flowers from the start. She was always a little crazy. Well, It would seem the young lady has finished what she had to say. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Wright? Yeah, it certainly looks that way, Mr. Layton. What? What's with that face? Do you find something funny here? It is as you said, Inquisitor Barnum. Explain. The defense raises just one further question. Why were you unable to find those glasses? What do you mean? Her eyes are shaking. She knows she's losing. You must have searched the quarry quite thoroughly looking for them. And yet, even now, the knights have been unable to locate those glasses. It was the wolves in the forest. They stole the glasses. There's a wolf out there wearing glasses. Did you ever wonder why? Yes, that's become quite the mystery. Surely they must be rounded somewhere. The glasses were lost to the wolves. Hey, Barnum got it! That is the only explanation. Something else crazy makes her hotter? There is still one remaining place that you have not searched tonight. Glasses wolves are precious. Huh? What do you say? The glasses were supposedly not found at the crime scene, leaving only one other possible place. What is this, you two? I'm gonna stab you. How about you, Sir Blue Knight? Draw your blade and reveal to the court where the glasses are supposedly hiding. It looks like I've somehow managed to make it through my first witch trial. It all comes down to this, the final piece of evidence. Time to clear up this case once and for all. I leave the rest in your capable hands, Mr. Wright. The piece of evidence pointing at the one place not searched tonight is the bucket.
Take that!
Tonight, there's one thing that was carried away from the crime scene right under everyone's noses. Carried away? And speaking, of course, about this. That's the milk bucket that disappeared from the crime scene. Thus far, the defense's claim that glasses were dropped at the crime scene has been regarded as mere speculation. However, if Miss Kira, we find your glasses within the contents of this milk bucket, then our mere speculation will suddenly become fact. What manner of witchery? What are you talking about? You're crazy. You're just crazy. No way could my glasses be inside a soot bucket. That's just impossible. How about we quit with the speculation and actually find out? What do you say, Inquisitor Barnum? That'll just waste the court's time. Don't listen to them. Don't. Just mandated that the Knights of the Inquisition investigate all impossibilities during the course of a trial. My lord, the Inquisition requests that this milk bucket be searched immediately. Very well. The judge does it? Oh. What? What? Miss Kira, as you can see, your glasses have been found inside the milk bucket. Truth is out. Nothing you can say can change that now. Which leads us to the next question. Specifically, a question of when. When did you drop your glasses at the milk bucket? The judge was the only one with sleeves that roll up. What? Why is this happening? This whole thing is ridiculous. The answer's obvious, isn't it? I dropped them afterwards, after I ran over to see the fire. No, because Mary instantly grabbed the bucket and ran off with it. I took a tiny peek inside a milk bucket. That's when they fell in. Don't be stupid, child. Snowy and I were at the scene first. We made sure to take that milk bucket before anyone else could get their grubby little hands on it. We weren't gonna let a single soul get anywhere near that sweet, creamy bucket of deliciousness. You can bet my farm on that. Each of these four witnesses has stated they heard a spell of Nays being cast at the time of the incident. According to the Grand Grimoire, Ignace summons a circle of flame within a 1 meter radius of the caster. In other words, the real witch must have been at Miss Cantabella's side at the time of the incident. Indeed, that is when the glasses fell into the milk bucket. Therefore, there's only one logical conclusion. Only one person who could be the true witch. Voice lines. Love him.
Miss Kira, you are the real witch.
Got him. What a very strange trial this has been. From the very beginning, we have all paid witness to a most unusual set of circumstances. Burn-in time? Yeah, I remember that. A baker turned defender, a surprise extra witness, and now a not guilty verdict for the accused. Never have I ever seen such a spectacle. How's crossover happen, Charlie, and the merit of the two pro tags pointing time? Is this really happening? The girl inside the cage. You mean she's the real witch? But what about that spell's Cantabella girl?
Miss Kira, tell us why. Why were you trying to frame Miss Cantabella?
You could easily have escaped the crime scene without a trace. There was no reason to frame anyone. This crime was a result of nothing but your overwhelming ill intent.
To frame a person as a witch is to condemn that person to death by fire. Surely you must know this. So why Espella
Her next to
Cantabella?
Espella.
Do you have any idea what it feels like to be a witch?
What it feels like?
I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for these powers, but I have them. And now here I am, begging for my life. I was living such a peaceful life until now. Selling flowers, getting scolded by my boss for not selling enough of them. That's why I was trying to put an end to these trials once and for all.
Well, my boss is mad at me. Better kill people.
Put an end to the trials.
You all know what I mean? The one condition written in the story that will end these witch trials.
When the great witch Bezella has been put to the flames and vanquished from this world, these trials will come to an end.
Shockingly common experience. I mean, it happens in Rick and Morty.
This was my chance to finally end all this. At least that's what I thought. The sun had begun to set on that lonely forest path, and there wasn't a soul in sight. I always carried my hidden Talea Magica with me in case of a moment like this.
It's Magica. We're gonna stick with Magica.
I used my magic to expose that girl for what she really is. If I had been successful, then all these trials would finally end, and I could go on living my peaceful life.
What are you saying? Am I hearing this correctly? Are you actually accusing Espella
Madoger,
Cantabella?
Magurker.
Why do you think no one has ever seen the legendary Great Witch? It's because she's been hidden in our midst the entire time. She's protected. She's hidden from us. It's all part of the story.
Part of the story?
Objection! That's enough! Speak no more. A witch's existence cannot be justified.
No, please. I know you've all noticed it too. You could end this. All of this. That girl! It's all because of that girl! I beg you, please, please release me! Knights of the Court, isn't it your duty to protect the people of this town? Give me another chance!
That is where you're wrong. Tis indeed a knight's duty to protect. We are impelled to protect the citizens of Labyrinthia against you and your ilk. The reason you were offered my protection until now was because your guilt was uncertain. There was the possibility that you were not a witch. The circumstances were such that it seemed another was guilty. That possibility has since disappeared, and your innocence along with it. You now find yourself at the other end of my sword.
He means the innuendo too.
Vile witch, enemy of Labyrinthia, may the fires purge you from this land.
Hold it! Please, wait! Stop! Please, just stop this!
Spella!
If it means putting an end to these horrible trials...
Oh no, spell, stop it.
Let me take her place. Let me be Bezella. Send me to the flames. But please, if it would save her life...
This trial has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that this flower seller, Kira, is a witch. And according to the law, all those found to be witches will be executed.
Yay, execution, we love it.
Executed? He can't mean...
Phoenix, you watched someone get executed when you walked in here. This dude Ted sounds like a 40k character. The judge or Barnum?
This is most unsettling.
Bailiff, ready the fire.
No!
No! Don't do this!
Listen to me! Don't let her fool you! Isabella is the Great Witch! Hear me! There's no time to waste! She's Bezella! Take her! And then these witch trials will be no more! The witch trials will end!
So far, we've always managed to pull off a win and get a not guilty verdict, but winning has never felt this depressing. Oh, Spella, are you alright? Yes, I just want to thank you all. You all came to my rescue yet again. Oh, yeah, of course we did. Hold on a second, Spella. What did you just say now? You all came to my rescue yet again? You don't mean... Yes, I remember everything. I remember the last trial. Suppose that makes this the second time we've met, and the second time all of you have helped me. Mr. Wright, am I inferred that you and Miss Bell have met before? Yeah, it seems that way. You too, Mr. Layton? Perhaps it would be best if we briefed each other on what has transpired. What should we discuss? What happened in London? Espella paid us a visit in London. She had in her possession a letter from an old acquaintance of mine. Is that right? Mr. Accidenti helped drive Espella straight out of Labyrinthia. You both kept me safe from the witches that were chasing me. Wait, did you say witches? So they appeared in London too? Regrettably, I am unable to say their protection was absolute. When we saw you last, it seemed you managed to escape, courtesy of that passing freighter. Oh yeah, that's right. What happened to you after that, Spella? I rode the ship, along the river for a while before arriving at a nearby port. And then that's when I met Mr. Wright and Maya. Okay, what should we discuss? I'm on the ship. I didn't know where the ship would end up. I felt very lonely out there. Please accept my sincerest apologies. I'm afraid there's nothing else I could do to prevent it. No, please don't blame yourself, Mr. Layton. I just didn't know what to do, so I tried to look for something, anything on the ship that might help me. Boy, you sure found something alright. Rather, someone, you ran into a master thief working as part of the ship's crew. Yes, that's right. Did you say master thief? Crikey, that's amazing! Not exactly say it was amazing. After that, I was taken to court. That's when Mr. Wright helped me. See, then perhaps, somewhere deep within your mind must have existed memory of that previous trial, and of Mr. Wright. Hence why you have sought to seek out his help when you found yourself in such an unfortunate situation this evening. That makes sense. After all, Nick did make legal history that day in jolly old England. Did he say he made history? Wow, that's incredible, right, Professor? I wouldn't exactly say I made history. But then, after that, I was never able to find my way back to Professor. Even after I went through the pains of finding that clue, it ended up being taken away from me. A clue, you say? That tag that was hanging around the deck of that sweet little stuffed toy. The tag was a clue. Clue for what? Stuffed toy's tag. I had a lot of time to think of while I was on the ship. I thought about a lot of things. Like how to try and find a way back once the ship arrived at its destination, things like that. Find a way back? A way back to Mr. Layton and Luke. They were the only ones I knew I could depend on to help me. The pleasure was ours, Isabella. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't remember the name of the town where they lived. Huh? You mean London, Isabella? Oh, that's it. London. That's what it was written, Carmine's letter to Layton. The blue teddy bear I found in that room was wearing a tag around its neck. Sorry, Isabella, but PC Badger looks nothing like a teddy bear. It doesn't really look like a badger either. The tag in very small letters was written London. I recognized the name of the town. I thought it might be an address. That's because the stuffed toy was used in a special promotion run by the London Metropolitan Police. Oh, and that's right! Isabella, you must have known the address super more. That's why you kept the tag, right? That way you could meet up with Mr. Layton and Luke again. I just felt so lonely and helpless. I wonder though, do you really think Riley did it? Hit Olivia over the head of the pipe, I mean. What's this? Oh, yeah, I guess we never did find out who the real culprit was. I do believe that may have some connection to the group of witches. What? You mean the witches that were chasing us to London? Indeed. It could be that they noticed your escape onto that ship and managed to infiltrate their own way aboard. Could it be? So, you're saying there was some big scary witch lurking around the inside of that cargo hold? I'm afraid there is a rather high possibility that was the case. Those witches were intent on seeing you brought back to Labyrinthia, no matter what. However, in order to do so, they had to make sure you did not become entangled in any situation that may stall your capture. In other words, the situation with Miss Al Dente, you mean? Precisely. They must have knocked that crew member unconscious and attempted to recapture Spella before the police could arrive. However, their plan was clearly foiled, given that you ended up in court regardless. And that's when she became my client. I just can't clearly remember anything that happened back then. Do you think there's a possibility that someone is pulling Ispella's strings through the entire trial? Hey, maybe you're right. There was something a little strange about Spell at the time. Mr. Wright, Isabella was introduced to you at the time as a schoolgirl, is that correct? Yeah. She would have no knowledge of the world outside of Labyrinthia. That being the case, having her stand in Inga's courtroom, as she was, would pose a serious problem. Meaning that someone must have been attempting to cover up a spell's identity. What? But Professor, could someone really do that? That they could indeed, Luke. And if I was suspect, I believe our adversaries may be far more powerful than we originally thought. Just exactly who or what are we dealing with here? Hey guys, let's head back to the bakery for now. I bet the boss is waiting for us for one heck of a pastry feast. Oh, actually, I can't go home just yet. Huh? You can't? Oh. Well, there are still a couple legal procedures to be taken care of before I can go home. Please, you all go on ahead without me. I'm gonna get executed while you're gone. Is that so? Very well. I really must thank you all. Thank you so much for everything. Alrighty then, Miss Fella. We'll catch you later. Yes. Farewell for now. And fade out. Scene. And scene. Mr. Wright, please allow me the pleasure of proper introduction. My name is Herschel Layton. I'm a professor of archaeology in London. Professor, huh? Well, my name's Phoenix Wright. I'm an attorney. As I suspected, you were no ordinary baker after all, Mr. Wright. Yeah, I thought it was pretty weird myself, to be honest. I mean, I really did believe I've been a baker all my life. Probably like, too bad you wish, if you're guilty have to die is literally imperial dogma. Will someone really do that, Professor? Go on the internet and tell lies? Luke has never had a computer. The more everyone kept saying it, the less sure I was that it was actually true. Just where did that memory come from anyway? Hey, Professor. If Mr. Wright is an attorney, that must mean he's as smart as you, right? I'm afraid I can't really say, Luke. But behind every ace attorney, there's an even smarter, but not to mention beautiful, witty, and utterly amazing ace assistant. I think you also forgot humble. My name's Luke Triton. I'm the professor's apprentice. I'm Maya Fate. And Nick here's my apprentice. Isn't that right, Nicky boy? Nicky boy? Hey, wait, why am I your apprentice? Anyway, we should all head back to the bakery. Let's get a move on. I'm sure Espella will be back before we know it. Or not get your hopes up about that, Sir Blue Knight. It's the man! Inquisitor Barnum. Most impressive work tonight. 'Tis a shame you have kept such ability hidden until now. Trust me, Nick's lawyer's abilities beat the pants off his baking abilities any day of the week. Okay, moving on. What do you mean by that, Inquisitor? Why can't Espella go home? New charges have been brought against Mrs. Espella Cantabella. What? No way, that can't be right. You have realized it, haven't you? She is being charged under suspicion of being the Great Witch Pizzella. She what? How can that be? Am I to assume that charge is based purely on Miss Kira's accusation? It was not I who made the decision. Huh? Regardless, the girl will return to court at the appointed time for further trial. Until then, I am to seek out any and all evidence pertaining to the Great Witch. Pardon me, Inquisitor. When exactly is this appointed time? The investigation to this allegation will conclude on the day of the storyteller's next parade. That would be 2 weeks from today. Following our investigations into the matter, the trial of the Great Witch shall proceed. It would appear the girl has been withholding a dark secret from you all. Espella Cantabella's questioning is set to begin shortly. That means visiting hours are over. I recommend you leave immediately. Espella, the legendary Great Witch Pizzella. The story dictates the fate of the entire town, and now a so-called Great Witch named Pizzella. Most intriguing. It would seem to be up to us to uncover the answers to these mysteries. But how are we supposed to manage it all in 2 weeks? Where are we gonna find any evidence? Doesn't Phoenix's trials take like 3-5 days total? You know, I was thinking, how do you address a great witch? Hail to the O magnificent magical one, or maybe just what's up, witchy baby? What difference would it make? She's called a great witch. That's not someone I'd ever want to meet. I believe I thought of a solution to our problem, and it's actually rather simple. Where's this Layton? Allow me to explain, Mr. Wright. The only way we may be able to solve the mysteries of this town and its residents is if we join forces. He's right. We've come this far, there's no way we're just gonna give up on Espella. Okay, I'm on board. I look forward to team up with you, Professor. Me too, Luke. Me too, Maya? Now then, shall we press on? This marks the beginning of our own story, one written by ourselves and written by our own hands. Jesus, that was long. Perfect. I win. Do I want to save? Yeah.